8 points. Now, I want to go to Todd in Chicago on this, because I've got a theory as to why the Dow is up so much. Todd, come on in, because I'm going to tell you my theory. I don't think that you can justify a rate increase in June or July given what's happening to a downtrending economy. I don't think you can get a rate increase in September because that's right before the election. In other words, there are factors at play which suggest you'll get no rate increase until November, maybe, or even later. That's why I think the stock market's up. What say you?
Good morning, Stuart. I do not disagree with you whatsoever. I think that's probably a very valid point. They can't really raise into this. I mean, it's hard to raise into a slowing economy. They did it once in December, but I think this is more rhetoric and more talk that they may do it. I think really what they did is they floated out a test balloon to see the market reaction. But the market's now too smart for that. They realize that they're probably not going to do anything until maybe November, if they do anything this year at all. So why should we worry about it? The money's going to remain cheap. Let's keep buying equities because there's no place else to go. So I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah, as you see signs of a slowing economy, the Dow goes up because you're not going to get a rate increase likely in June or July. That's just my theory. Let's see how it plays out. We often cover the big name companies, but you know, a lot of them are well off their all-time highs that they hit recently. Look at this lot, bouncing back a little. Netflix, Google, Amazon, Facebook, McDonald's. Mike Murphy, would you leave that up on the screen? Would you buy any of those on the screen?
I would buy Facebook, I would buy Netflix, and I would stay as far away from McDonald's as I could. Up around 130, the stock was way too expensive for the way it's trading. I think it's a trend right now in McDonald's because of the all-day breakfast, but their core business, burgers, fries, is down.
At some point, I'd like to add Microsoft to that list. I do own it.
Great company.
I'm grinding. It's a fantastic company. I am grinding an axe. I understand that. But somebody recommended them. They got an upgrade, I believe. And I think that stock is going to be up, although still off the 55, 56 high. Wait for it. New video just coming in. French riot police. We'll show it to you later. I just had a technical glitch with that. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But tell me what's going on with it.
Look, there's a big standoff going on between a major union, the oil refiners, the dockers, and the French government. And today the French government got sick of it because they're strangling the oil supply. Gas stations throughout France are running out of gas. It is stranding tourists. A lot of reports of UK tourists stuck for days and days. They can't move. They don't have any gas to drive home. So the government went in early this morning with riot police, tear gas, water cannons to break that blockage outside all of the oil refineries. There's 8 major oil refineries in France, Stuart, and every one of them is surrounded by these strikers that won't let anyone in or out.
Todd Horwitz, do you have any comment on Europe? There's a big
I think, look, it's about the money, Stuart. These guys want more money. They're tired of being broke, so they're holding the oil hostage, and they're making everybody work for it. Now, I don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to get, you can see what's going on now with the water cannons, with the tear gas. But at the end of the day, listen, there's not enough money to go around anymore. The worldwide economy is not in good shape. And here's guys that need more money to live on, so they're going to hold the oil hostage, which is obviously a pretty good choice. It slows down the economy. It slows down everything. So they're making a wise attempt at it.
A skeptical Mike Murphy sitting right next to me. What's with that face?
I think, Todd's view on things is a little more pessimistic than my view. I think the global economy definitely has issues. But, if you focus back here on the U.S., I think we're growing slow and steady. So as Europe works through its issues, as China works through... We're growing
slow and steady?
Slow and steady. We have
half percentage point gain annualized in the first quarter?
But what we've seen, let's wait till we get the full year. We're growing at a 1 to 2% growth rate.
We have to wait for the full year to see whether we're growing nicely or not?
Yeah, it's tough to judge. Just like if one quarter came out
really... the market's going to wait for 9 months to see whether we're going to...
But if you got one quarter report saying things are going gangbusters, you wouldn't say the whole year is going great. You'd wait to get the full report. So I think things on the overall economy aren't as bad as...
Okay, go ahead, Todd. You have the right to respond. Go.
Why don't we wait till 2020 until we see if we get any growth? There isn't any true real growth in this economy. You can say that, you can cite the numbers, but even the federal offices can't agree on what the GDP is. You get on New York, you get 1.7. The government says 2.5. Dallas says 1.2. Nobody can figure it out because there really isn't much, and you're still forcing every independent investor to go to one place, and that's the stock market. We're not seeing true growth in any economy, and any factories, no growth. So
the Dow Industrials are now up 152 points at 17,645. See, I was right on the way. I got it right.
There
Come on. How about Facebook? It is dropping its reliance on news outlets to help determine trending topics. I don't understand this. Explain.
The Senate was saying, hey, wait a second, Senator John Thune, there's political bias. You don't have conservative news in your trending topics feed, that box in the upper right. So now Facebook is responding, saying, yes, there could be isolated incidences where bias does creep in. So they're saying they're going to knock out using the Wall Street Journal or Huffington Post as their sources of information and validate what they're picking, but they still have human curators, human editors choosing. So there's still bias. There's no change. Yeah, that's right. And then that means they risk their credibility just like any other media outlet.
Silicon Valley is essentially liberal. It's essentially left of center, and that is not going to change in the immediate future. That, again, is an opinion. Okay. Let's see. Now we've got more action in France. Police have raided Google's Paris office.
100 investigators showed up at 5 a.m. at the headquarters in Paris of Google looking for documents. What this is all about is what the French believe Google owes back taxes. $1.7 billion worth. What they're really upset about is Google operating in France, making big profits, but having their tax base somewhere else where they're paying a very low rate of tax by comparison. Same thing happened in the UK. Google paid money, about $170 million to Google at the beginning of the year, but the French want a lot more than that. This is part of an ongoing attack, if you like, by EU regulators on the big tech American companies.
Exactly. It's an attack.
It is.
Over there.
They'll get them any which way they can.
Look at oil. Oil, this is interesting. Oil searches, discoverers of new sources of oil, shrunk to a 6-decade low. Todd Horwitz, I think I know why. Why do you have to go and look offshore or anyplace else when you can just go at the shale oil reserves that we have in abundance? That's what's going on, isn't it?
And it's that simple, Stuart. Look, we've got, in the shale oil alone, we've got a 100-year supply. Now, if we don't figure out in the next 100 years how to use solar and some other type of energy, then we got bigger problems than that. So the oil's right here. We've got over a 100-year supply sitting in the ground right now without going anywhere. So why go offshore and look for it? There's no point to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the industry as a whole says, look, companies are just focusing on keeping their existing fields operating. This could have an impact on long-term supply. It takes 5 to 10 years to get oil that's discovered into production.
That's true.
So this will have a knock-on effect.
That is true. Morgan Stanley is saying we have 2 decades, 20 years worth of supply.
Yeah, apart from which, all that stuff that's underground, locked up in shale deposits, just go get it.
Go get
till the cows come home.
It's the market telling you what the price should be. The price of oil is too low, so they're not going out to where the oil's more expensive to drill offshore.
That's
free market.
Sometimes you're right, Murphy.
Thank you, sir.
The biggest automotive recall in American history just got a little bit bigger. Toyota adding 1.6 million vehicles. This is the Takata airbag.
Takata airbags. The front passenger side airbags, they have inflators that can rupture. We know the story, send shrapnel around inside the car, linked to, 13 deaths, more than 100 injuries. All of this, by the way, largest recall in U.S. auto history by far. Toyota says it will affect models 2006 to 2011, but not all of them, so contact the
look
dealer.
At the stock, $100 a share. It was at least 120, 130 not too long ago. Would you buy it at 100?
I would not.
You would not?
I would not.
No. Short, sharp, to the point. Todd, Mike, thanks everybody for being part of this Open to the Market this Tuesday morning. Let me check.